spots right now. So any kind of engagement that they're going to have right now is going to end up hurting both of these duos ultimately. So they got to be really careful what they decide to take. Not sure what Dom's decision was to pop down there in that corners area and go for that shot, but he does get taken out. But now Strep and Andrew on that edge, and they're getting fully focused by players that have already made it into the zone, opting to drop up and go for the redeploy. But with players like this, you're going to get shot down. Not really sure about that strategy. Doesn't look like he had very many other options, but going to go for that aggressive play on the storm edge. You know, you see some players going for it, but by this point, there's a lot of players that will just opt for the focus on rotation instead. So,
and here we have,
why not to do that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you take your chances. I think they got just a little bit too caught up with that last engagement. They were too focused on it. They were a little bit tunnel visioned, and it unfortunately spelled disaster for them. But here we have Nutty and Tuxie. They've been in the #1 spot on the standings, on the leaderboards here for quite some time. So you can see why. Nutty putting himself in a very good position. High ground, early rotation, able to pick up 2 eliminations on players trying to rotate into the zone. That is what gets you on the #1 spot in the leaderboards. Being able to think ahead, even though your teammate has been taken out, you know, making those decisions to further your duo.
Yep, 100%. Every single elimination counts. These guys are sitting on 83 points between the two of them. This is a top lobby. If you guys are just joining us, we are coming in on the top point lobbies nearing the end of the NA East region. We've got 3 duo spots available for these players right now, and they are hungry as ever to be able to pick up the points that they need that's going to take them to the World Cup at the end of July.
Yeah, and here you see Nutty, you know, sliding down the mountain, having to take a little bit of fall damage, but reserving some of his builds to make sure he has enough for endgame as opposed to having to just drop a flight of stairs there. He is going to use the big shield here because he did take some damage from a player there. He has gotten into the top 10, so kudos to him for that. He's getting himself some placement points. We're going to have to see if he can make it much further.
Yep, 2 more duos need to go down for those top 5 placement points as well. This is quite a smaller lobby compared to the one that we just saw in the last game, but Nutty doing his best with what he has to make the most of it, having that green.
The double trap goes out, Kitty.
Bravo is able to disengage out of it. He needs to get this siphon to be able to make it and survive into the zone, trying to build his way in. He's getting fired upon from the wings, it looks like, who is going to get that last shot before the storm takes him down. Tahi and Wally taking this ultimate high ground away from Donks. You see Donks get into the zone and right away build a nice 1-by-1 tower here, but Wally's going to say, thank you for this height. We're going to just attach to it and take it over. It is ours now. Now they're just going to rain down shots on anyone they can. Missing the last shot on that player, unable to get that elimination, but they're getting strong now. They understand that this is a 2v1v1, taking both of their time to aggressively push this player and take him out. And now Donks going down as well. 10 eliminations on both of these guys. Great job.
Yeah, Wally and Tall really did a good job there of just maintaining, like you said, that high ground, taking over the tower, recognizing that it was a 1v1 and playing that to their advantage, dropped down, knew that it was going to be a 2v1 in both situations, and it netted them a win. So, you know, excellent matches so far coming out of NA East. It's always a pleasure to watch these guys, Kitty. You know, every time we watch NA East, and I've got a lot of friends in this region, you know, seeing them perform. You know, we're looking here at Clicks and Skeptic, 2 very, very good players as well. They are sitting at 72 points, 2 eliminations for each of them. So we're gonna have to see how they shake down in this one, but you can see on the right-hand side there the allocation of points. Victory Royale will get you 10, 2nd through 5th is 7, 6th through 10th is 5, 11th through 15th is 3, and then each elimination will get you 1 point. We just entered into the threshold, so 15 teams remaining. That means that they currently have a total of 7 points for this game. We're gonna have to see if they can get any more.
Yep, these guys are doing a great job, and they're in a great position right now, right in the center of the zone. This is zone 4, so it's about to close. Ooh,
those
one of my
edits,
favorite
Kitty.
plays when people do come over and take over your 1-by-1 tower. When you, just with a few 4 simple wall edits, you can take the players down, getting a nice knock onto Miho, saying, nah, this is our tower. Sorry, dude. And nice little rift. Gonna pick that up. And there's a shield here as well if Septic wants to come and pick that up.
Yeah, Septic not at exactly 100 shield, looking at it at about 80. So he might actually choose to use that. But excellent work by Clicks using the edits to just completely take down the top part, making quick work of his opponent here. And here we have Av and Premium. Yes,
and that boom bow in that inventory. We've been seeing so many amazing boom bow plays this weekend and the weeks in the past, and just going to be awesome to see how he puts that explosive AoE damage to the test. We are heading now in through Storm 5. These guys have not picked up any eliminations. Look like they are gonna pace themselves out a little bit, even though they know they're in that top 15. This whole time that we've been spectating, no teams have gone down, so they're being very careful to make sure that they secure those placement points as well, and finding a nice easy elimination onto Fernando, who's just happening to pass by. They got to move a little bit into the next zone, so it'll be interesting to see how they decide to do that.
Yeah, I think they may just try to tunnel through here. I don't know if using the Rift right now is the best decision for them. They are just going to use the launch pad, actually, to make their way over. But unfortunately, Premium actually just gets taken out by his duo's builds there. A little bit of a miscommunication.
Gotta start looking up before you take that jump pad. We've seen that happen so many times today.
Yeah.
Because of that, these two players pay. Av going down when he lands on that other team. These guys not landing together is the death of them. The reason why they didn't land together is because they knocked that ramp, weren't able to land easily with each other, so that's too bad to see. But it's up to Premium now to see if he can pull this off.
Yeah, it just is one small mistake in the grand scheme of things, but it did cost Av his position in this game. So now, like you said, Premium is going to have to see what he can do using the cone edits here to try and get a good lay of the land, see if he can scout out any possible eliminations, because right now they only have the one. They are still top 15. No other teams have gone down. If he could get to top 10, it would be excellent for him. But we're going to have to see, if he's able to do so or not. Is using another launch pad to make his way into the next zone, diving all the way down to make sure that he isn't actually gliding for too long, because, like we've seen so many times before, Kitty, when you do that, you tend to be a little bit of a sitting duck, and because he doesn't have his teammate to back him up, he has to be very careful with how he chooses to rotate, but he does get the edit on this player. This player had no idea, Owen had no idea that Premium was actually in the box beside him, and it nets him an elimination, a whole lot of resources.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Premium
Kitty!
not realizing that wasn't his wall, costs him his life. Another player coming in as a loot goblin. Slade goes down to Premium as well. And Premium using another jump pad. How many jump pads did this man have?
Obviously a lot. He had a few.
I
had 3.
And that Rift to go in the inventories. Just great mobility moving into these next zones. Storm 6 about to end. 3 more seconds. And then we're going to be heading in to the next storm. Not even taking any shots yet. Now he is going to decide to go and play a little bit more aggressive. Does take the entire shield off and clean up Septic. Notices another player in his right here. He will go for the edit play. Gets a clean, great shot onto his opponent. As soon as he notices how low he is, he makes that edit play down to finish him off. Only required 1 shotgun shot. Premium now finally using his Rift, coming down to get the position that he needs. Looks like he is going to contest that high ground from threats, going out into the storm and now back in. He's got to be a little bit careful though. He doesn't have any way of descending this high ground very quickly, so if this does get shot out, he's not going to be in a good position, taking lots of damage. Now going for the waterfall down. No one penalizing this and choosing to shoot it out. Dropping onto the tree, getting the siphon, and now he's going to be able to survive the fall out of this tree if he so wishes.
What am I watching right now? Did you see how fast he was cranking 90s down the waterfall, Kitty?
Just a 62-point lobby with tree play. It's just, it's just one of those days today, Pookie. This isn't even the craziest game that we've seen today.
That play was unreal.
This meta is wild right now, and great to see him doing so much with what he has. Again, not having the teammate. Boom bow drop down, doesn't get any damage, but does get taken out by Krusty. But he's got to be happy with that performance. He does make it into the top 5, gets that placement points and a lot of eliminations to boot. But now we're spectating Krusty, another solo player. Angel already gone down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that whole replay there and see exactly what happened with Premium, because those plays, they lived up to his name. They were premium.
We got another tree player, Cadet, now just descending from the tree. Does get taken out by a Philly. Crusty goes down to Skolzy. We're now in a 2v1 situation, and a Philly and Kaido making quick work of Skolzy down on that low ground from that ultimate high. But yeah, a bit of a wild game. I appreciated all the movement and plays he made, but just great games coming out of the final moments in North America East region.
Yeah, so let's just hop right into the next game, I guess. We see Cryo over here with his duo. We have Classics with Django here as well. Looking a little bit low on ammo, so they may have to pick up or try to pick up an elimination or two to be able to get themselves back in this game, feeling more comfortable. But because they don't have any eliminations right now, and we are already in the 5th zone, that could be why they're a little bit low.
That was Aspect.
Aspect just gets completely
What was Aspect doing there?
It looked as though Aspect was trying to move possibly to the next set of builds, but Django said, you know what, I don't think so, buddy. Your head looks like a pretty good bullseye for me, and I'm going to take some target practice on it. And he absolutely did. So hopefully he can get over to Aspect's loot, pick himself up some mobility, he gets some ammo. They're sitting in a much better position. That's exactly what they needed to do to be able to push forward into these next rotating zones. Yeah,
really interesting play here. It's surprising to see Aspect not using a tunnel format there. Maybe he was out of resources, but now we're headed up to Tfue and Cloakzy, sitting on 64 points between the two of them right now. They do already have 3 secured eliminations for this game. They're in great positioning on the high ground in this zone, and Tfue kind of griefing the community jump pad and saying nobody else can take this now.
That's such a Tfue thing to do.
Clean shots onto that player. 3 gray ticks. He knows how low that opponent is. Getting a nice shot onto Perplexity, getting that knock, and now he's going to go for the finish. Every single elimination counts here.
Yeah, and Tfue and Cloakzy, we've seen them so close so many weeks. They have this week and next week to qualify. That is going to be it for them. So this matters, Kitty. We're gonna have to see kind of how this plays out. Cloakzy sitting at 2 eliminations, Tfue at 2. They only have 65 points though, and the way we've seen these guys playing today, is 65 points going to be enough? We're gonna have to see.
Yeah, with only 3 duo spots available for this region, we will. They're definitely gonna have to put up the game of their lifetime if they want to qualify this weekend. We also have Som and Symmetrical in this lobby as well. Sives, you see in the corner, Chance. So lots of players in this lobby. We are in the top point lobbies right now for this region, finishing up. I'm not sure what the timer is for Europe, or not Europe, sorry, East, but they might have already concluded. I'll have to check my phone, check the time. But if we could get a timer in that corner at some point. Sitting on 4 eliminations. Oh, it is totally out, totally gone. This is their last lobby now, their last chance to qualify for these 2 players. They do have those 6 shadow bombs that I'm just noticing now, so that's really, really important for these 2, for these next rotations. We've seen how valuable the pros are enjoying these shadow bombs and how much they appreciate having them, and a lot of them saying it's even better than a rift. So,
just misses on that opponent there. Tfue using the heavy sniper to take out that wall, and Cloakzy looked like he was just a little bit behind on that shot, not able to get any damage off, unfortunately. But look at these guys rotating over. All you hear are glider redeploys in the sky, Kitty. Everyone using launch pads and rifts to get over to the next zone. We hear shadow bombs now being popped off as
all
well.
All the movement items being used up for
every movement item in the game being used.
Yep, we hear some traps going off as well during the rotation. Sometimes you can easily catch players off guard by posting a trap during this chaos that's happening. Lazar going down in the action feed to Smacked. Tfue's got great positioning here, was one of the first ones in the zone, so immediately you see him shift behind him and start taking shots at the opponents behind. Really clean, heavy sniper shot. He's got a little bit of help from the other opponent, who's also focusing the same player, and now using that shadow bomb to position himself in the next zone. There's a few shadows here skating together. That is not his teammate though, so he needs to be careful when he's building up. Does not want him in his 1-by-1 with him.
No, for sure. And it is so difficult to see sometimes, you know, when another player is in the shadow form, where exactly they are, especially when the storm is closing in. They really blend into the background there. But here we have Legedian. Cole is actually out of the game. Again, Legedian does take a shot at a player 82. Predator falls to Legedian there. Just using that tactical shotgun to his advantage, not giving up, taking those shots, getting the damage he needs.
Yep, great play by Legedian there when he's caught off guard with another player in his box, but now he's going to have to make this rotation. All of these players, top 10 duos now. We are in the top 10 placements. They've got more points to their name. All these players want top 5, and that number 1, he does go down outside of that top 5 range now. We've got Cloaksy still alive and Tfue alive. They're bouncing around in their shadow farm towards the zone. Now posting up, but they got Cairo and Kai right next to them. They got to be careful, and they've got that onslaught of shots coming down from above. Looks like they will be safe for now. Just a wealth of these shadow bombs to work with. Cloaksy does go down. Someone must have been able to track him with that shadow form on him, and there's going to be no way for Tfue to revive him right now, and 4 total duos remaining.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you are in shadow form, you are still vulnerable and susceptible to taking damage. So even though you are not able to be seen, you're still vulnerable, Kitty.
Yep, but all these shadow bombs are going to allow Tfue that much farther in these placement points right now. Every single time that he can delay him going down to his opponents is more points for him and his teammate. He needs to get that elimination on the player to get that siphon, and he doesn't. Som taking out Chance and Tfue on the high ground, symmetrical on the low, getting that elimination, that split, and then taking on those solo players to get that victory royale. Excellent gameplay coming out of these two.
Yeah, Symmetrical and Som, again, using the split to their advantage to track every other duo that was left in that game. They played it perfectly. They netted themselves the victory royale, but let's get back into the action here. We have Eclipse and Tekdra here. They are looking to see if they can go up maybe against Monster and J-Truth. You see them over there. They're the closest duo to them right now, so we're gonna have to see if they get into a little bit of a scuffle here. We are still looking at NA East. We are on the tail end of these games. The timer has run out, so any lobbies that these guys are in right now could potentially be their last. Every point matters, every elimination counts, and these guys are definitely putting on a show, Kitty.
Yep, this could be the game that nets them one of those tickets to the World Cup finals right now. Sitting on those 84 points, they are just within striking distance, and how they play right now will decide that. We've got McDougal going down in the action feed to Spade. These guys now need to make that rotation into the zone. Tickers is in this lobby. Monster and J-Truth is in this lobby. I just saw High Sky fly past, but we're going to be checking in with Jeffries and Red Ninja here, who are already posted up in the zone and taking shots on their opponents, rotating it.
And look at the edits here that they've used. They have the half wall with the half cone actually up against this wall here, which is so interesting. It leaves just a small amount of vision for them to peek their heads out, but they do have to be careful. We've seen so many players today utilizing the heavy sniper, making those very quick shots to be able to take out opponents at the drop of a hat. So very quick peeks here by Jeffries, and J-Truth does fall to him and gets completely eliminated.
Yep, not quickly putting up walls around you. You are going to pay in lobbies like this with players of this caliber, and you see that happening to J-Truth right there, getting pushed or getting shot from the west and then having shots fired into his space from the north. He does go down, and these guys find their first elimination.
Here his partner back there shielding up. Red Ninja actually did take a little bit of damage there, but he seems to be okay now. We have more. Tickers falls down to JN.
There's so much loot over there.
There's so much loot, Kitty.
You tell that player once, and he's like, I've seen 3 players go down over here. I'm going to be a little bit of a loot goblin. We got Vinny and Zexro in the corner there. Blue T, Monster, Kazooie, Cloud. This is your
this
top
Ghost Assault
lobby
is in here
right now. Thieves, replays,
Ando
and Tag.
Sky.
We're going to check in with Hornet and Vinny. Yeah, we're going to check in with Hornet, though. He's up in this high ground and having this nice little peek now into this area, making sure that he's not going to get shot from above or the sides and can easily shoot down on these rotating players. Finds a clean shot onto Scry Fishy and now is going to use that Shadow Bomb to make his rotation into the zone. Tickers did go down. We saw that in the action feed earlier. And Hornet's going to do whatever he can to make it into the top 15 spot.
And utilizing the walls and the sides of those builds to make sure that his Shadow Bomb lasts long enough for him to be able to actually make it all the way to the edge of the zone. Very smart move on his part. You can see all of this tunneling happening with metal through the middle of the zone. The reason these guys choose to use metal for these things is because once the metal is fully built, for any player to have to break through, it does take quite a lot with a pickaxe or a weapon. So really utilizing the materials effectively for each situation. Cloud does take out Jair there and just completely finishes him. So he's not going to be able to move over to get the resources from that elimination, but that's not too bad. He's sitting very good now in terms of builds and loadout with ammo and everything. So he looks great.
Yeah, and look at this incredible tunnel that Kazooie and Cloud have formed right now out of metal, able to make these easy edits down and catch their opponents off guard. You see Thieves in that 1x1 below Kazooie. Kazooie makes the edit while Cloud maintains the pressure from the side. Excellent work together. We got Tektra and Eclipse on that high ground, Zextro on the low. We're going to be checking in with all these players right now, slowly blanketing out. These guys don't need to worry too much about blanketing. They've got a nice mid-ground that if they get shot down, they can drop down onto and connect to. But Vinny does go down in that kill feed. We saw them kind of navigating that super low ground. Looks like they did get split up as a team. Blue team picking up an elimination as well. And Eclipse and Tektra, while they might not have a lot of eliminations, the positioning that they're in right now is going to net them so many opportunities to get more.
Yeah, and we are just, like you said, for elimination points, we are coming up on actual top 10. So they are going to be looking to get an additional 2 points here for placing top 10, and they did just get it. So now 5 points to them for placement. They have 2 now for eliminations. Let's see if they can get more. But you know, holding that ultimate high ground in this situation is their best bet. Texture does have the Shadow Bomb, and Eclipse, although he doesn't have any kind of mobility, he does have that Flint Knock pistol. So he is able to use that if the builds, for whatever reason, do get shot down. But they do look like they are quite connected here.
Yep.
They are very reinforced, which is actually going to be great for them.
Yep, the way that this zone is moving, it is going right over their builds from before. They have no worries about this high ground anymore. Tektra does drop down quite low. You see him get a close 1v1 engagement with another player, unable to secure that elimination though. But now he's just going to keep blanketing. He's got to be a little bit careful. He's got 9 more builds to his name, no rockets in his rocket launcher, so he's just going to look to get any tags onto these players as they make their rotation, as they edit out and start tunneling into the final point of the zone. Outcasties does go down. 3 eliminations between the 2 of them now.
Yeah, and does pick up rockets.
10 rockets.
10 kids.
Oh my God, that is exactly what he wants to have in this situation. He does take damage, but he's gonna have time to take these mini potions now and start raining down on these players. So many talented players on that low ground, and now all he needs to do is just rocket down. You see him actually hitting a tree a little bit to try and get more resources, sitting at 31 total builds. Oh, that was a little bit of a miscommunication. Was that his teammate?
That was his teammate that he did just knock down, but it's okay. Texture is still using the RPG to actually apply pressure. Eclipse does go down.
Oh, no.
To Cloud.
Because he did that, the teammate of Kazooie and Cloud do take him out. This is a 2v1 situation, not in Tektra's favor. And Tektra, as he shot Kazooie, built and carpeted out with his roof, he ends up eliminating himself. I think during that chaos, just a couple of missed plays that could have been the mistake that cost them their qualification.
You hate to see it, Kitty. You know, you get so excited when these guys pick up these RPGs, but it's a double-edged sword. You know, it can really go either way. But you know what? Let's take a closer look to see, you know, what happened in those games. Sundown, what do you got for us?
Thank you so much, Pookie and Kitty. And that is it. That's the last of the matches. NA East has wrapped up. We're going to book 3 more qualifier spots, and I'm joined here by Bala to see what those final spots are going to look like. Are you ready to take a look?
Yeah, that last game really decided a lot. And here it is. It's Tetra, Eclipse, and Roette DW and Blue T in that last game. We saw them come through. Both of them, I think that was the last 2v2 there. They both were in there, and they're both going through.
The second to last at 2v2, Roette did get cleaned up. Tetra was the one who put that RPG down, but got cleaned up. And then Ronaldo and Ziff snuck into that third spot. 15 elimination and the victory out in that stacked lobby. Congratulations to all three of those. Nut and Tuexi just getting edged out. You also see Mega and Dubs down there on the leaderboard. And again, don't forget, you too can check out these replays. Go and check that session leaderboard. You can load up the match histories and kind of go through the breakdowns, see how these players were able to qualify. I think we're actually going to take a look at the match history of Tetra and Eclipse. So this kind of gives you an idea of what you'll see when you go in and look at the matches. And in fact, you can load up each one of these individual replays and see how it goes. But we've talked about hitting the split and doing everything you need to. But let's talk about coming up clutch. Look at these last two matches there, Bala.
Last two matches, 7 eliminations, 5th place, 4 eliminations, 2nd place. We saw that one on stream. And I mean, that is not just clutch, but the entire match history here is revealing, right? Look at how many games that actually went out early. How many?
There's only 2
41st?
rough games in here, and that's these two. And even then, like 41st and going out with 0 elims, that can kind of be a throwaway game. You saw they didn't even play their 10th match, so the limiting factor there was time. But getting out to the good start and then rolling off a 4 elim game, but in 36, that actually puts you in a prime spot to then capitalize on it in the 4th game with a 19-point victory royale coming out there. Congratulations to all 3 of their duos for a brilliant performance. That's it for NA East right now, but we have to punch their tickets going through, and right now we'll slap that first one up on the board. That's Tetra and Eclipse. Hey, congratulations, Eclipse. Well done, man.
Your former half duo partner, but then we also
carried
got
me when I needed test
Roette
right?
DW and Blue T. Congratulations, gentlemen. That's a ticket to New York.
Yep, well done from the pair there, the new duo who came in, and then Ziff and Ronaldo getting that final spot again out of the stacked lobby. But we're not done for the day. We need to recharge, reset, take a quick little break. NA West, the matches have started, but we're gonna take a little bit of time. So what you need to go use the restroom, walk your dog, spend some time with your family, but then after the 30-minute break, come on back and catch who will be the last qualifier coming out of NA West.